Hey guys, how are you doing? This is episode 6 of the F1 2018 career mode, where we now go from master to legend as we upgrade the difficulty by 5 points, meaning that it should be a bit more harder to get the wins, as I think we won 2 races in a row recently in the last couple of episodes, and we need to make it a bit hard for ourselves, but hopefully it's not too hard so that we end up struggling too much. Now, in the wets, I'm not the best. And it always happens in qualifying that the AI are a little bit faster than in a race. So I was really struggling in qualifying in these intermediate conditions. We'd actually nearly crashed as well at the start, as you just saw previously, but if we can get through to Q1 we should be okay. It's supposed to dry up in Q2. We do set a purple sector, but we unfortunately lose our lap time. I was thinking 10th place? That looks pretty good for us, 10th place. Hopefully we will settle above 15th place and get ourselves into the next qualifying session. However, we unfortunately don't do that and we come 17th. So we've got to push on now in the race and hopefully make a lot of moves and a lot of overtakes.
Things didn't really go your way today. Tell us what happened.
No, but it didn't.
There's nowhere at all I'd rather be today than here at Hockenheim for the German Grand Prix. We have an incredibly competitive field this year, which means we should be in for a treat. And judging by the sea of people filling the grandstands, there's a fair-sized chunk of Germany that agrees with me. With average lap speeds of around 130 miles per hour, the Hockenheim ring is a quick circuit with a lap distance of 2.8 miles, around 17 corners. The main DRS zone through Parabolica leads into the hairpin for the best overtaking opportunity on the track.
No, I love these intros that they do at the start of the race. They're quite interesting in my opinion.
We're almost ready to go then, and this is what the starting grid looks like for today's race. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, with Sebastian Vettel starting alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid we have Raikkonen, Ocon, Valtteri Bottas, and Perez, Stroll, Verstappen, Ricciardo, and Pierre Gasly. Hülkenberg, Alonso, Brendan Hartley, and Sainz, Leclerc, Ericsson, Power, and Stoffel van Dorn. Grosjean and Kevin Magnussen rounds off the grid.
So, after losing to our teammates in qualifying, we need to push on.
Let's give them a race worth watching.
Also, based on what the engineer just said, our engineers, our engine suppliers are watching this. Let's put on a show for them and make a load of overtakes and get the podium as the lights go out and away we go. With a Sauber driver Leclerc up ahead and his teammate as well. We give him a little bit of contact, but luckily don't lose any of our front wing. Now we've got Van Dorn up our inside trying to cause some trouble right now. We brake really hard and nearly hit Ericsson. That was so close. Both Sauber drivers making it hard work for us to get around them. And we'll get onto the straight after overtaking Leclerc. Just about anyway. Now, long straight here. It's actually faster to go in 7th, stay in 7th, because you get better braking coming into this corner, which is weird by not upshifting to 8th. But we then push out Alonso after nearly hitting Ericsson. That was a really close manoeuvre. We just miss his back wheel there and then end up going deep into the corner. But now Hartley up ahead. We end up going overtaking a load of them up to 10th position now. 11th, 10th, we're battling with Ricciardo right now. But you know what? We've managed to get away and get into 10th place. And just look how much time we're making in these corners. It's those corners where you're kind of half braking and you're going into it fairly quickly and just let the car roll into the corner. Those are the corners where this car excels rapidly around those corners. And we end up going past Gasly then, get into 9th place. Now our teammate 8th is up ahead. Okay. Come on, Stroll. Give me an easy ride here. Don't battle too hard. Let me get past you. And we do it reasonably well. We don't hit him either. Nice clean overtake there. Now Verstappen is our next victim in this race. Setting a fastest first sector again. We were really fast in that first sector compared to other drivers. Again, going up the inside of Verstappen, but he gets us back. We go a bit too deep into that corner after a dive bomb, and it doesn't work out for us too much. But this was that was the overtake basically. We end up hitting him. That was the issue. We hit him as we don't really get the alignment of the car correctly. We end up losing the car a little bit. Move into him, and that's why we lost the time to him and end up losing the position. But we come to the pits now on lap 5, which will become lap 6. And we'll be putting on, I think it's the soft tyres. It is yellow striped soft tyres. Hopefully coming out into some clean air as well, with Perez right up ahead. I believe, based on where Perez is, I think we've actually made up time in the pits, as we actually come to overtake Raikkonen here as well. It was way up the road before, so with some fast lap times on our out lap, we've really managed to do a good job and make some time up on the rest of the guys up ahead. With 10 laps to go, then we set another fastest first sector. This first sector is absolutely brilliant for us right now, and we're really having a good time in it. But Perez up ahead in 5th place, and he's also battling quite hard with Bottas. It should mean it should be fairly easy to hopefully catch up to them and overtake them in the next few laps, as we try to here, as we go up the inside of Bottas there. And then we've got Perez as our next person to overtake in 4th place. We could definitely get a podium, as I believe it's Ocon up ahead in 3rd place. We can definitely get him as well. He's not too far up the road. Oh, Bottas there goes into us. I don't know if it was my fault or his fault there. Did I turn in on him, or did he just hit me? Looking at this, I feel like I turned in on him. I think that was probably my fault, but I had to turn in for the corner. I couldn't stay out too wide. I don't know. What did you guys think in the comment section? Was that my fault, or was that Bottas' fault? Or was it just a racing incident? But now, still charging up ahead. We've now got Raikkonen trying to make our day a little bit more miserable. But we're still in the contention for a podium here. I think a race win is not on offer. We've got 6 laps to go, but to catch up to the cars ahead is going to be a very, very tough job. Now this could be an easy overtake if we manage this correctly, and we're clever with this. We could overtake both of the cars, as we nearly hit Perez, losing momentum on the straight, which is not good. As Ricardo is trying to get into, Raikkonen is trying to get into the mix behind us. We get both of them then round the outside. What a beautiful overtake. But then Perez tries to come back at us. We've all got the soft compound tyres on. There's no tyre advantage, but we get ahead of all of them, and that was a sensational overtake. Look at this, 4 cars, 2 by 2, like Noah's Ark, round the inside, and that was a very, very exciting move there. And then I think Perez or Ocon gets the better of his teammate there, but now we come across the line to get a 3rd place. To say we started in 17th, that was good.
Top job, my friend, top job. I was a bit worried about this one at the start of the weekend, but you pulled through. Thank you.
Here's our winner, pulling their Ferrari into Parc Ferme. What a fantastic race it was. And I have to wonder, Anthony Davidson, just what set them apart from the competition here. Oh, here they come now, out onto the podium. Wherever you go, anywhere in the world, the prancing horse flags are dominant in the grandstands, and they're out in force again today. It's Ferrari on the top step once more. And after this round of the World Championship, here's how things look in the drivers' table. Well, the lead at the top has come down after a poor result for our points leader. Now then, Anthony Davidson, who was your driver of the day?
I have to give it to Power. They demonstrated a very delicate touch in close proximity to other cars, as well as showing a lot of maturity and patience in difficult situations.
And now let's take a look at the constructors' standings. Ferrari.
Get in there, driver of the day. I will definitely take that, as we're now trying to improve a powertrain a bit more. But unfortunately, the way it's set up, you've got to put the efficiency grades up there, efficiency upgrades in there, sorry, to be able to actually get the car ready for the power upgrades. That'll mean it's much easier in the race to manage our ERS and stuff. But then we move on to the next weekend, and unfortunately, we lose out to this upgrade here, the ultimate upgrade for the ERS. It ends up failing, so we have to wait another week. So, Q1 of Hungary now. And so far, so good, but I want to get another lap in here just to confirm it. Now we are up on our time by quite a lot. This could be a P1 in qualifying one if you're careful about this now. Very fast corner. I love this circuit. It's really fun to drive. especially that last sector where it's really fast and it's just so, you know, thrilling to get around some of those corners at the speed you go around them. But now come around the final corner, it does say over 2 seconds up, but I don't know if I believe that because it doesn't feel like it, and we'll see if it's actually a true indication in a minute. Where do we end up finishing then? 2nd place, okay, not bad at all. So it was a big improvement, but Ricciardo is on another level right now. He's amazing. I don't know how he's so fast in this qualifying. I know he's got a car that's good for the chassis and the downforce, but he is rapid around this circuit. Again in Q2, we're sitting pretty comfortably in 3rd, now 4th place, doing a 17.0. Not as fast as last time, but it should be enough to get us through into the top 10, into Q3, hopefully anyway. Alright then, we do finish in 7th place, above our teammate by a couple of tenths. So far so good in qualifying. And then we set, well, we don't set a lap actually, we're actually going to set a lap now. It's our first lap in Q3, so if we mess this up, we will start in 10th place. This has to be a good lap. We will show the whole lap, I believe, here. And the whole lap will be shown, so you'll have to see every little detail of it and see the whole of this track in its glory. But it probably is up there in the top 3, I'd say. Maybe top 4 in terms of my favourite tracks on this game in F1. Maybe not for the entertainment value though, it's quite hard to overtake around here, but to drive it, it does feel quite nice. Braking is very hard then for this really tricky chicane. As you can get too far on the curb and you can really unsettle the car there, you've got to be really careful. And this bit is my favourite, just the corners where you just dive it in there and hope for the best. Down to 5th and quickly up to 6th again, nearly losing the car as well, getting a purple sector there. This could be P1 sorry, in Q3 as we go around the final hairpin and the final corner coming up soon. Will we set ourselves a pole position here? It's been a good lap so far, and looking at the times after each sector, we could get it here. Oh, I think we were 2 tenths off. 2nd place. Oh, that was so close. We could have got it, but we didn't. Alright, okay. Doesn't matter though. It doesn't matter.
Qualifying is complete and we're all set for an exciting race tomorrow.
That was so close.
Well against your rival can earn you respect and better terms when it comes to our contract reviews.
We were what, 400ths of a second off or something then? That was ridiculous how close we were. We've got Hamilton now as our new rival. That's been quite challenging and quite fun to deal with.
It's always wonderful to come back to the lively Hungaroring. A popular destination this, nice and close to the beautiful city of Budapest, with some exciting racing to boot. Who can forget Michael Schumacher pushing his old teammate Rubens Barrichello up towards the pit wall in 2010, or those great races of 2014 and 2015 as well. 14 corners then for our drivers to navigate at the 2.7-mile Hungaroring today. It's 6 lefts and 8 rights around a lap here, with average speeds in the region of 120 miles per hour. With a look at the starting grid, Daniel Ricciardo starts from pole position today, and power completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Hamilton, Perez, Kimi Raikkonen and Ocon, Alonso, Hülkenberg, Grosjean and Lance Stroll, Magnussen, Van Dorn, Pierre Gasly and Sainz, Ericsson, Vettel, Valtteri Bottas and Charles Leclerc. Hartley and Max Verstappen completes the grid.
Great starting position for us. Let's see if we can improve on that in the race.
Alright then, the top 3 were split by a 10th in qualifying. Can we better these 2 drivers and win this race? We've got a great opportunity right now, but unfortunately our gap, our barrier is going to be Ricciardo. It's absolutely rapid and we end up getting sandwiched by Perez and Hamilton there. That was pretty scary. As again, we always seem to get a poor start. Maybe it's our acceleration in the car, maybe it's not good enough, but we get hit and end up somehow not losing any of our front wing. That could have been disastrous. But luckily we're okay. With Perez there, we get a warning and nearly lose the car. We have lost a little bit actually, but it's not going to impact us too much. And then we tried to go around this corner without corner cutting, and we just corner cut again. So that means that we end up getting a second warning, one more, and we'll get a penalty. And we're already 2.8 seconds away from Ricciardo up ahead after 2 laps. This is going to be interesting. We're miles faster than Perez behind us, but miles slower than Ricciardo up ahead. So it's a pretty dismal race at the moment. Just nothing happening. But we go and put on the soft compound tyres now, ready to run to the end of the race, another 12 laps. And I'll tell you what, this race, it was a bit of a dull one. We were just stuck in no man's land with no one to overtake and no one to pressure us to try and overtake us. It was just, nothing was really happening. It was probably, I'd say, the longest race we've had so far in terms of what it felt like. It felt very, very slow. It didn't matter how much I pushed or how much I put into the car, I couldn't get enough speed out to consistently beat Ricciardo. If I pushed too hard, I'd get a warning, or I'd have to make a mistake and end up losing lots of time by getting understeer or whatever. If I didn't push enough, I wouldn't make up the time. Now we're on lap 18. You can see the tyres aren't great right now, but we're just in that mode where it's just it was just a cruise to the finish at that point. I decided to let the car go a little bit and just drive a bit slower and cruise to the finish, and hopefully our tyres wouldn't explode.
Good finish. You stepped up and achieved what we asked. Good job.
But second place, not too bad. A pretty good episode here. Getting third and second.
The Red Bull team are ready and waiting to celebrate a thoroughly well-deserved win. And Anthony Davidson, give me your thoughts. How did they accomplish this result?
The difference was clearly in the strategy. You could tell they'd done a lot of work on the pit wall to really optimise each stint and get the most out of the tyres. And it highlights just how much of a team sport this really is. But credit to the driver as well though, there's no good having a well-oiled machine behind the scenes without a talented hand on the wheel, of course.
And I can see now the drivers are making their way out. We need Red Bull fighting at the front. They do an incredible amount for Formula One. And that's another winner's trophy heading back to Milton Keynes. Championship. It's a good result for Lewis Hamilton, who moves further ahead at the top of the table. Moving on to the driver of the day then. Anthony Davidson, who would you go for?
I'm going to go for Sebastian Vettel. People have suggested before that he can't race wheel to wheel, but as he showed today, it's nonsense.
And here's how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. It was a tough race for our championship leaders who lose ground at the top of the table. Well, what?
So there you go then. We get 600 extra resource points for completing our goal, which will help us towards our upgrades and developments.
Well done.
We're also going
Keep
to
pushing like this
start the
for us.
contract
It's time for us to
negotiations
renegotiate your contract.
and
Okay,
try
that
and
proposal looks good.
get a better deal
It
here.
seems all
5th
parties
and
are happy
5th
with the
for
deal.
qualifying
So it'll
and
be the
race.
next race weekend.
First driver hard and getting some pretty good perks towards the bottom there of that contract negotiation. So we're pretty good in the Drivers' Championship. We are gaining ground on the top drivers, but unfortunately with Lance Stroll not really pulling his weight in the team, we're struggling for the Constructors' Championship. But we'll try in the future to do as best as we can. But thank you guys so much for watching the video. If you did enjoy it, then please subscribe and turn on those notifications, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!